Okay, so this is a demo for callbacks. I'm going to teach you how to create a callback for a voicemail. I'm going to teach you how to create a callback inside a job, and I'm going to teach you how to clear the callbacks that are assigned to you. So the first one I'm going to teach you is how to create a callback from a voicemail. So you'll be working inside your phone system, and if a customer leaves a voicemail, you'll get it through your phone system as a WAV file. So you open the WAV file and you'll listen to it. And while you're listening to it, you're going to enter it into the callback database. So this is on dashboard number 3, outstanding tasks to be completed. And it's the very first field here, voicemail, customers that need to be called back. So when you get a voicemail, you're going to add a record right here. And then with a voicemail, you don't need to assign it to any specific person, and it's not going to be attached to a job ID because there is no existing job. So you just need to choose the type of call, why the customer is calling, which it'll say in the voicemail, obviously. So usually it's a customer calling to book. Occasionally it's a complaint or a wait issue, etc. So just use the appropriate type of call. And then on the voicemail, it's going to say when the voicemail was left. So say it was left yesterday at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So you're going to put that in, and the reason for that is for tracking to see how long it's taking us to get back to our customers. Message called back at, you're going to leave this blank. You're going to fill that out when you're returning a voicemail. And status will be left as not yet called back because you're just entering it into the system now. Later, when you're calling these customers back, you would change the status to call back and left a message, or if you actually get a hold of the customer and book the appointment, call back complete, this if it still needs attention, etc. This you're not going to fill out for a voicemail. And since it's not attached to a job, you'll need to fill this out. So we'll just pretend that I left the voicemail. And then you put in their phone number here. Now, always with this formatting, with the dashes, okay? And then you would just put in the date here, and then customer calling to book. And if I left my city on the voicemail, you would put the city in there as well, and then your initials at the end. This here, customer issue resolved, that's not related to this. And so for a voicemail, all you need is the type of call, the date and time the voicemail was left at, their name, their phone number, and the customer issue here. And then you would just, whoops, my apologies, let's get that back. And then you would just save. Okay, and that is going to make this record show up in the callback database. And that way, if there's anyone else working and doing callbacks, they would see that record in there as soon as they check the dashboard. So if they're working away and they had some time and they didn't get a call, they're going to come back to this dashboard here, and that entry that you just put in is right here, so that they can make the callback if you get another call, or you can make the callback. And then if you call the customer back, so you open it up and you're working on it later, and you call the customer back, you're going to put customer called back at, and the time you called them back. You're going to change this to either left message or callback complete. Now, if you left them a message, you're just going to put in always the date first, and then left message, and then your initials. Okay? Now, if it was completed, you can say booked customer, and your initials, and save. And once this has been changed to callback complete, it will clear it from our callback database. But if you leave it as a left message, then we call the customer back 3 times. If we leave them a message, then we call them back. The following day, we leave them another message. We'll call them back 3 times. And then once you've called them 3 times, you can change it to callback complete and save it, and that will clear it from the callback menu. So that's doing it for a voicemail. Now, a callback inside a job, if this customer called in and you were speaking with them and they needed a callback for some reason, so they were unhappy with their bill, there was an issue with the driver, etc., you're going to go all the way to the very bottom of the job, and you're going to go here, 1-888 junk van callbacks. You're going to click that tab and then add record. Now, this is a little different because you're going to assign it to a specific person, either your manager, who at the moment is Marjorie Collier, her name is here, or you're going to assign it to the driver of that particular city. So Edmonton office, Hamilton office, in particular, Calgary has his name, Doug Ackerman, so because you want to give this callback record to a person so it will show up on their dashboard when they log in so they can deal with the issue. So, for example, if this was a Calgary job that had a wait issue, assign it to Doug, put in that it's a wait issue. The time that you spoke with the customer would go here. This is going to stay blank. This is going to stay not yet called back because you want it to show up on there. Dashboard. Now, you don't have to enter the name or the phone number because it is attached to a job. So it will pull that information right out of the job and it will be there for whoever looks at it. And then you're going to, as usual, put the date here. And then customer has issue with weight. If there's any details, like what kind of issue they had, what they think their weight should be, and then your initials. And then you're going to save it. And that would show up when Doug logs in, it will show up on his dashboard. Like, for example, when you first log in and you have your messages here, the drivers have the same thing. So then you're going to save that and it will show up on his dashboard. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to clear messages that come through to you. So when you first log in, we'll revisit, we're going to dashboard number 1. And this is the dashboard that shows up when you first log into TrackVia. Now here's your callbacks. So for example, you have one here that's not yet called back. So you're going to click the arrow to open it. And because it's attached to a job, you can open the actual job with this little arrow here, but we won't do that just yet. So it's assigned to me, okay? And then here's the notes on what's going on and what type of issue it is. So if I needed to look at the job, I just open this green arrow and it's going to open up the job for me so that I can look at the details of what's going on, call the customer if I need to, etc. Now, once I'm finished with it, now this should have been filled out, so we'll just pretend that it was. So I'm going to say this is the time I called the customer back at. I'm going to change this to callback complete because I spoke with the customer or called back and left a message if I left a customer a message. I'm going to add notes in here based on what I did starting with the date, okay? And then my initials at the end. And then I'm going to change this to customer issued resolved yes. And when I save it like that, this here will clear that from my callbacks. Now I also, if it's something that someone else might need to know, I also want to put those same notes right here in the job so that later, if somebody opens this file and they need to know what happened with that issue, the resolution is also in the notes here. Okay, and then you would save it, and then it would take it away from that view in my dashboard where it shows my messages. So to clear a voicemail or to clear a callback, you want to change the status, add notes, put it to resolved, and then always, always, always add notes to the job.